Okay, guys, thank you for the kind intro. Thank you all for taking time off. I know you're all busy professionals, so it's a pleasure to engage with you this lovely Sunday. I spend a lot of my time working with advising companies on how to navigate the present times. So I'm just going to very quickly run through a few insights I have, and I look forward to workshopping them a little bit with you right after. So super quick intro to myself. This is my kids. This is the time before COVID when I actually had a decent haircut. But these are also my children. So I have founded a number of different companies, some of which are nice, flourishing, and successful. Some of which, are on life support. But I try to very actively explore all the opportunities I spot around. So that's how I see myself, in a nice balance. When I speak of disruption, I borrowed the term, of course, from the management advisor Clayton Christensen, who most recently was based at Harvard Business School. He speaks of two types of innovation: the sustained innovation, which is the process that always happens in companies and organizations, where we always try to improve the processes and activities we do a little bit, but we work within the same paradigm that we always have. And then there's the concept of disruptive innovation, when you do something in a completely new way that simply replaces the old way of doing things. Simply making the old way of doing stuff obsolete. And I think of technology as this big tsunami wave, as you can see in this image, that is just coming towards us. Whether we like it or not, it is happening. And we are the surfer, and we can choose to sort of not watch these dramatic changes that are happening, or we can try to understand them and spot them in the best way. And then if we time the technology wave in a good way, then we can ride it. We don't even need to be very smart in order to be successful, if we spot and understand these trends and how they impact society in the right way, and especially at the right time. So I spend a lot of time doing that. This is no news to you guys. We live in times that are very rapidly changing. I mean, look back 2-3 generations to our grandparents, our great-grandparents. Perhaps they experienced a single technology shift in their times, going from horses to tractors or to cars. But we, in our generation, and only really in our professional lives, we will experience one dramatic technology shift after the other. So we can't really rest on our laurels. We always have to be prepared to see what is the next step that is happening that's going to change the rules of the game yet one more time. I mean, just to take one example, how many generations of Windows have we seen in our professional lives? I count to about 8 for me. I don't know how long you have been using, if ever, Windows. So I'd just love for you, as part of this conversation, if you can stick in the chat and share sort of what you think is the most, I'll read this out if you can see, which technological development do you think will have the greatest impact on society between now and 2030? So in the coming decade, which technological developments will have the greatest impact? Would love to have your thoughts. So the insight simply from these rapid transformations that we're seeing is that the skills that we have, we studied at university, we learned all these great things, we took all these tests, we have our beautiful exams, but the sad news is that the skills we have, they have shorter and shorter half-lives before they become obsolete. So it used to be that we could apply skills that we learned 10 or 20 years ago. That may no longer be the case, especially if we work in the field of technology. If you learned a programming language 10 years ago, chances are you will not find employment to employ it today. So we need to think in a different skill set. We need to think more in terms of meta skills. And this is also very important when we coach and lead others. What do we emphasize in our conversations that we want people to have? Of course, yes, we want the software developer to be the king of their code, but more importantly, we want all the people who are part of our teams to have these meta skills that will not go out of fashion. And I've listed some of my favorites here, and I'd just like to point out which I think is perhaps the most important one, and that is really technology literacy. Today there is possibly no more important skill than understanding technology, because it forms such an important part of our lives. And we speak of the digital divide, right? That it's the people who understand and welcome this technological change, and it's all the others who really can't catch up anymore, and they get lost and they get behind, and they can't join the Zoom calls because they don't understand that, or they find it too difficult. And they will be massively challenged in the future workplace. So what's my advice then? Well, you can't simplify many years of work into just a few minutes, but sort of what I want to give you as a takeaway is, in the organizations in which I work and I advise, we say that you must always take time to explore new tech, even if it's just, just downloading a new app every week and then sharing a few insights with the team. Because, I mean, we've heard about virtual reality now for many years, and there are always the optimists who say, yeah, virtual reality is going to change. It's going to be the 3D internet in a few years, and it's next year and just one release away. And yet that is yet to happen. But principally, the idea is that we can't check a technology out one point and then say, okay, it didn't work, let's forget about it. But we always have to revisit them on a regular basis. And this in particular applies to machine learning driven technologies, where we see a very, very rapid growth in skills and capabilities of machine learning systems right now. So we need to keep our eyes on them at all times. So I want to round off with another observation, which is also about the general mindset that we need to apply. And at Singularity University, where I've been active over the last 10 years, we speak of having an abundance mindset, which is all about seeing opportunity. I mean, many people get frightened with all the risks and the unknowns and the unknown unknowns that we face in this environment. But if you keep an abundance mindset, thinking of, okay, if I stick to my passion, if I stick to my ultimate convictions, I will be successful, because that is what will keep me on the right track. Thinking in terms of opportunity, and not how I can make things 10 times better, but 100 times better, because we can do that with some of the technologies we now access. If you encounter a problem, what if you can solve not just that problem, but solving the bigger meta problem on top of that problem? And then the whole range of problems may go away. And also going away from the long, short-term thinking to a true long-term thinking. That's really my advice to you in a nutshell, what we need to have, the critical capabilities we need to have to navigate the current time of disruption that we happen to be the people that were born into. All right, thank you very much for your time and your attention. That was a few words from my end.